This podcast discusses real-life experiences that may include topics such as grief, trauma, medical or mental health challenges, and other emotionally sensitive content. Please take care of yourself while listening, and if at any point in the conversation you feel overwhelmed, it's okay to pause, step away, or skip this episode entirely. While some of our guests are licensed professionals, the Holiday Survival Podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered medical, psychological, or therapeutic advice. If you are struggling or need support, please reach out to a qualified healthcare provider or mental health professional. Now, let's begin. The holidays can be the most wonderful time of the year, or they can literally be the worst. That's why I'm bringing back the Holiday Survival Podcast, the show that gets real about a season that isn't always merry and bright. If the holidays bring up stress, grief, pressure, complicated family dynamics, or just big emotions, you are in the right place. My name is Erin Billings, and I am your host. In each episode, we'll have honest conversations, share practical tools, and offer hope for anyone navigating the messy, beautiful, and emotional reality of this time of the year. No forced cheer, no sugarcoating, just real stories, real support, and reminders that you are not alone. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Welcome back to the Holiday Survival Podcast. One of my favorite things about the holiday season is the food. But it's easy to get off track when it comes to my health and fitness goals. That's why I have asked certified health coach Tess Cheng to come on the podcast and share with us how to maintain healthy habits in the midst of all of the holiday chaos. Tess, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. Why don't you introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do so that our listeners can get to know you?
First of all, it's such a pleasure being here. Thank you. Yeah, I run a private health and wellness coaching practice based in Miami, but I work with people all over the country and other parts of the world. And I basically focus on lifestyle behaviors. And those could include nutrition, sleep, stress management, exercise, and even social connection, which is important for all of us. And I help them come up with a plan that's sustainable for them because it's all very individualized. What works for you might not work for someone else. And we all have different preferences, different cultural background, different schedules. So something that has to be sustainable. So it's not one size fits all approach. It's really holistic. And we just focus on those habits and work towards them.
I love that. Everybody's different, so we can't give a one-size-fits-all prescription to heal the world.
Yeah, definitely.
So for the purposes of this episode, let's assume that the folks out there listening already have a diet and exercise plan that they're on. And it's really easy to fall off the wagon during the holidays between the family dinners, the office parties, the school parties. What are some of your best tips for maintaining your diet when there's food literally all around you?
Yeah, we have all been there with that kind of situation. Yeah, and I would say aim for consistency rather than perfection. So go to an event with a plan. Planning is really important. So if you know there are going to be some rich foods, where you're going, or you might not even know what might be there, then have some lighter, nutrient-dense meals during the day. Don't go there hungry. Don't think that, you're going to split the calories for the event later, because that could really backfire. When you're hungry, sometimes you just want to eat everything.
True.
So it's better to have something first before you go there. And say to yourself, if it's something special that you're looking for, you can say special dish or dessert, by all means have it. But don't just eat something just because it's there.
That sounds really smart. I love what you said about don't wait to eat and save up all your calories, because then that could make you eat more. I've done that personally. And when you said it, I was like, oop, I'm going to make a note of that one.
Yeah.
So I actually had a question that was submitted from our audience, because the holidays are super stressful and people tend to eat their feelings. What advice do you have for people that tend to emotionally eat during this time?
Yes, I totally understand. With those emotions, it's very stressful. You could feel overwhelmed and sometimes even lonely at times, depending on where your family is. So when you feel that you're actually eating emotionally, slow pause before you react to the signal to something and ask yourself, am I really hungry or am I seeking comfort or distraction? If it's comfort, then find some strategies that don't involve food that will actually give you comfort. For example, call a friend that you haven't spoken to for a while. Listen to some music that might be uplifting. Go for a walk. Or even something like just deep breathing for a few minutes. And if you overeat, don't beat yourself up. Just use it as information rather than judgment. Very often, emotional eating is a cue to care for yourself. It's not a punishment.
I think that's a really good way to frame that. So many of us, myself included, when our emotions get really intense, it's really easy to just gravitate towards the food instead of addressing the root cause, which is what's causing that emotion, what is really happening here. And that's something that I've had to work through personally. And I know there's some folks out there that are probably going through that same thing. So whenever you have a client that is going through this, what do you tell them in that instance?
I tell them to just sit back and, as you said, think about what's really going on, what's really causing all those feelings, rather than reach out for something. I've been that myself. When you get anxiety, you think, oh, I have soft spot for dark chocolates.
Don't we all?
Yeah. So I think, oh, I need a chocolate bar and something. And then you think, no, hold on. Maybe it's something that's bothering you. Is there something you can actually do? Or maybe perhaps, as I said, call a friend and maybe talk to someone about it.
Yeah, therapy is always a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having a therapist, having someone, a mentor that you can speak to, it definitely does me a lot of good. And I'm sure those out there that have therapists and people that they can speak to, sometimes it helps to get that unbiased support.
It does. And it's really good sometimes rather than just having it all internally, actually have someone you can talk to. Sometimes my clients would call me. They say, oh, I need to go over this with you. And they just needed some support at that time. And afterwards, they just felt so much better.
That makes perfect sense. The holidays can bring a lot of emotions, joy, nostalgia, and sometimes stress from the people we love most. If you've ever wished you had a clearer way to understand family dynamics, relationships, or culture, this is for you. Sociology Lab is a new platform created by an Oxford sociologist that translates social sciences into practical insights you can actually use in daily life to feel more informed, more grounded, and more confident in who you are in a time when the world feels loud and divided. There's real power in better understanding yourself and the people around you. It's a meaningful gift for yourself or for someone you care about. Members receive short, eye-opening lessons and tools that help things click so that you can move through life with more clarity and more connection. Visit sociology-lab.com to learn more and join the community. That's sociology-lab.com for more knowledge that supports you well beyond the holidays. Check out the show notes for those links, and let's get back to the show. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. This year, let's do the holidays differently. Let's skip the big box chaos and choose small businesses instead. The Holiday Survival Podcast's interactive gift guide is packed with makers, creators, artists, and founders that pour their actual heart into what they do. When you shop small, a real person does a happy dance, a family feels supported, and a dream gets to keep growing. Your dollars matter more here. Your gifts matter more here. Your impact is bigger here. If you want a gift that feels personal, thoughtful, and intentional, this is the gift guide for you. So head to the show notes, check out our full interactive gift guide, and make sure to share it with a friend. And now, let's hear a word from one of our sponsors. So changing things up a little bit. I know for me, I tend to trip up when I'm so busy running from event to event that I don't have time to meal prep. And the busyness of the season can make it really difficult to even have time to prepare healthy meals ahead of time. So what are some healthy alternatives for fast food when you're on the go?
Yeah. Rather than thinking of cooking, we're really talking about assembly. So it's putting things together, combinations. So it's not an elaborate meal. So some of the things I would suggest would be something that easy to put together, such as Greek yogurt with some fruits, some nuts and seeds. And the fruits are such as berries, so they're quite easy to have with you. And maybe some crackers with hummus. You can buy hummus from supermarket and some celery sticks to go with it. And the other thing I would suggest, if you happen to like canned fish, such as sardines or salmon, those might come in handy. And if you go to grocery stores these days, they have pre-packed salads. You can have those. And if you like the canned fish, then you can just put some fish in there and add some more so you have more protein.
That wouldn't be me.
No.
Like 90% of what you said, I couldn't eat.
No.
So for those of us that eat like a 5-year-old, what would you recommend?
I would say if you're going to have fast food, rather than having fried option, choose grill. And then leave the bread, maybe have salads or vegetables with it. And these days, a lot of these fast food places have healthy options. It's just to look for those rather than just go for the standard burgers or French fries.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out of my fast food ways. And so it's just, I know that the holidays are coming and that means that I'm going to have to really get in there ahead of time.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just don't have time. And finding the healthier alternatives for fast food on the go, that's definitely something that I've had to do personally. But another issue that I've found that gets me out of my routine is my travel schedule. I'm already someone that travels more than the average person just because of the nature of my work. But during the holidays, I travel even more. And sometimes I don't have access to a gym when I'm on the road. So what advice would you give people like me that are out there listening that don't want to fall off the wagon on their fitness journey?
Yeah, that's important to keep your movement going because you want to keep your habits alive, your fitness habits alive. And movement is movement. So don't focus on intensity, but think of it as consistency. Look for ways to build movement into your days. At the airport, instead of taking the tram, walk through the airport. And instead of using the elevators, use the stairs. And even some quick workouts in your hotel room, just some stretches or some yoga moves, 10 to 15 minutes, because they all add up at the end of the day. And really just think of it as keeping the habit there so you maintain the momentum. This way, when you get home, you can go right back into your routine.
That makes a lot of sense. I've seen a lot of people, they've done like things against the wall or with a chair. Do you have any advice? It's almost using your own body weight as the weight to do the movement. Is there anything you can share with us on that?
Yeah, I think they call those wall sits. I do them myself for my quad. So you sit against the wall like a chair. You can do that for 20, depending on how long you can hold that position for, 20 to 30 seconds, and just do different reps. I always pack a resistance band with me, and it's nice and light. So this way you can put it on. You can do glute exercises in your hotel room, or even just lie down and do different things. With the internet, you can look up some of the exercises you can do. But this way you have the band with you, and it's easy to pack.
I had never even thought about that, but that's brilliant because that won't even weigh anything in your luggage.
Yeah, exactly. That's right, yeah.
And you could use it against the door. That's smart. I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah, and it comes with different resistance. Once you get better at it, you can use one with a resistance, and you can make progress that way.
I love that. I'm definitely going to do that.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you feel like I've missed as far as things that we should talk about as it pertains to the holidays?
I think the other thing I would like to mention is sleep.
That's a great thing to mention.
Yeah, because it's easy with all the excitement and all the parties and you spending time with your family. It's important to make sure that you get enough rest. Perhaps not as much as you normally do, but just be mindful about it. So this way you're in a good mood and it helps with the way your body digests the food. And so make sure that sleep doesn't get forgotten.
That's one of my big issues. I am an insomniac, probably because I'm a creative. And so that's when my brain really that's when all of my creative downloads come through. And I have a hard time shutting off my brain. And so how would you handle someone like that? What would you advise them to do?
I would suggest having some wind down routine. It's best not to be exposed to blue light before you go to sleep. So I know it's hard because with the schedule, there's so many things going on, but try to turn your phone off for, say, even 30 minutes before your bedtime, and perhaps read a book that you enjoy and listen to some music and maybe do some deep breathing before you go to sleep. Just wind yourself down. Because if you are still at that pace where you are thinking, getting everything done and thinking all these things, your brain is not actually winding down.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue for me personally. I know a lot of folks out there listening, they're probably thinking about, oh, here's my to-do list that I have to do. And that keeps people up at night. And so I think having a good wind down routine, I've worked on it, but I need to continue to work on it. Everything takes time.
Yeah.
Anything else that we've missed?
Yeah. The other thing with the sleep is people enjoy audiobooks. They can be quite useful. Find something you like to listen to, even just for 15, 20 minutes. So it takes your mind off your work.
I haven't thought about audiobooks. I can't listen to music because that awakens my brain just because I'm a musician and that puts me into work mode.
Yeah.
I also do the same thing with podcasts because that's the other half of my work. So I tend to turn on one of I call it the comfort show. So one of my old shows that I love to watch is Friends.
Oh, yeah.
I think everybody loves Friends. I turn that on and generally I'll wind down watching that. Or let's see, what else do I watch? Ted Lasso. I love Ted Lasso. It's such a good show. And it's such a happy show.
Yeah.
So I tend to watch a show before I go to sleep. Does your nutrition play into your sleep at all?
It does. I always suggest having dinner earlier rather than later. As a rule of thumb, I would say about 3 hours before your last bite and bedtime. But I understand, especially with the holidays and if you're traveling, that might not be feasible. That's why it's another reason to have the lighter meal at night. And this way, it will give your body a chance to actually digest all that food before you go to bed.
That makes a lot of sense. What about caffeine? Because I think I'm addicted to caffeine. When is the cutoff time for that?
It varies from one person to another. Some people are more sensitive to caffeine than others, but in general, we would say 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Oh, Lord.
For me, it's actually noon because I'm quite sensitive to it and I don't drink coffee every day. Some people say, oh, but I can drink coffee at 4, 5, even in the evening, and I can just go to sleep. Research does show that it really impedes your REM sleep. So you might feel you are sleeping, but your sleep architecture is impacted.
Oh, I think it's safe to say that mine is probably being impacted because I'm basically on a caffeine drip.
Yeah. Perhaps if you can try having it early in the afternoon one day and then see how you feel. Just do an experiment.
Okay. I think I'm going to flip my water intake from the morning to the evening and then push my caffeine up in the schedule and see how that works.
Yeah. But if you have water too late in the day, then it might keep you up or it might get you to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
So what am I supposed to drink?
Just not have as much. So have most of your liquid up till early evenings, if you can.
Okay, now you've got me thinking. Okay, how am I going to do this schedule? Honestly, my schedule is so here and there and everywhere just because the nature of what I do on a weekly basis, it's all over the place. So I don't know if I'll ever be that person that has a strict routine just because my life isn't strict in that kind of way.
Yes.
But I guess it's good to always have goals, right?
Yeah, and every small step counts. So just work on one thing and see how it works for you. As you said, everyone has different schedules. So find something that is sustainable. That's the key.
For sure. Tess, I've really enjoyed our chat. Where can our listeners find you to connect with you?
Yeah, they can go on my website, which is Glow with Tess. It's GLOWITHTESS. So go on the website, sign up for my monthly newsletters for some health and wellness tips. And you can find me on social media. And it's all the same, Glow with Tess, on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram.
Very cool. We will make sure to put her links in the show notes, and then you can also check out our gift guide, and her feature will be in there as well. So go and connect with Tess. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you guys come back for our next episode. We're going to be talking about budgeting, which is going to be a big issue whenever it comes to the holidays and Black Friday. So I hope you guys come back for that episode. Thank you for listening to the Holiday Survival Podcast. If this episode helped you feel a little bit more seen, supported, or sane during the holidays, it would mean so much if you'd leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and tap the 5-star rating on Spotify. It's a simple way to help more people find the show, and it truly makes a difference. For resources, links, and next steps from today's episode, just check out our show notes and be sure to click the follow button on whatever platform you're listening to this on so that you never miss an episode from this season. Remember, you don't have to navigate the holidays alone. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next episode.